This copious WWE Elimination Chamber review is brought to you by WrestleCrate.co.uk. You can save 10% off your first WrestleCrate when you use promo code DEADONDAVE.
Real talk, the Metaphor Messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave coming at you live from Germany. Very early morning here in Germany. Well, not early morning, but it's morning here in Germany. Late night there, where most of you are watching in the States. As you know, I did not stay up to watch the entire Elimination Chamber pay-per-view last night. The reality is when you fall asleep 4 times within the first hour, sometimes you just got to know when to tap the hell out. And that's exactly what I did. But I've woken up, watched the rest of the matches, and I got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised with the second half of the pay-per-view. The second half of the pay-per-view was pretty damn good. No huge surprises. Once again, the betting odds did reign supreme. Most people didn't even realize that a huge betting odds flip happened just hours, I think maybe even yesterday, before the show. Naomi became a huge favorite in her match. A lot of people have mixed emotions about that. Me, I'm one of them. We're going to talk about the match. I'm not going to talk about everything that's happened in the past with Naomi, and I'm certainly not going to be, well, it's just because of all the Black History Month, which I'm sure does have a factor in it, but we're going to talk about this specific match, and then we're going to leave everything else in the past, and we're going to try and go forward from there. And of course, we are going to talk about the most predictable outcome, and honestly, the reason why I did not stay up the rest of the night and watch the Elimination Chamber match, because I knew the one thing that was going to happen was Bray Wyatt was walking out as champion, and prophecy fulfilled. He has, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing either. I think it's a very long overdue thing, and we're going to talk about how the execution transpired, how it worked out. That's what I want to know, how people felt about it. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to get into, and we're going to have a good time doing that. Probably going to take some calls. Not sure. Yeah, probably more than likely. We'll open up Skype. We'll take some calls. Maybe we'll even go into Discord. And we'll take some calls and get your opinions and reactions to the entire night. But I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to spend a lot of time on about half of this pay-per-view. We are going to fly through most of the matches because, my God, was that first half of that pay-per-view awful. Awful. Almost unwatchable. I mean, almost unwatchable. It was so bad. Okay, so let's get into those matches. I don't want to gild the lily too much there. And by the way, the betting odds were accurate 100% again, except for one match, believe it or not. Natalya and Nikki Bella. No, but they did not. They had Nikki winning, ended up going to a no contest. That's one of the matches that I barely want to gloss over. So let's just start there just because what an awful fight. What an awful match with a just ridiculous conclusion. The one thing that people wanted was an actual conclusion, and it's the one thing we didn't get. We had a double count out after a very lackluster performance. Why is this continuing? Why is this continuing? Why are we getting more of this? It makes absolutely no sense. And it really, that was the capper for me. That was the match that kind of just said, I'm done. Kickoff pre-show, it happened. Mojo Rawley beat Kurt Hawkins. Aren't you so glad you came back to WWE, Kurt Hawkins? They put you in a singlet, and now all you do is lose. Aren't you glad that you came back? It was a good move. Becky Lynch, Mickie James happened. Becky Lynch, Mickie James. That was the opening of the show. A lot of people were expecting a really great match. I think it fell short of that. I don't think that it really reached that pinnacle where people wanted to see. Kind of a weird finish, kind of wonky. I didn't really care about it too much. I'm tired of women getting roll-ups on pay-per-views. It just doesn't do anything for me. It felt like it should have been, if you're going to have Becky beat Mickie James, I think you do it with a little bit more gravitas. You do it with a little bit more oomph. You don't do it with a roll-up. Not on a pay-per-view. I think you do it with a little bit more extra. If you're going to put Becky over after all of these losses that she's been piling up, you got to do it in a way that matters. And I think, once again, it's this half-assed, half-in, half-out booking that really hurts WWE, and it certainly took me out of it. It took me out of the entire night. Right there, I was just like, okay, really? This is what we're doing? This is how we're starting the night off, and it just didn't do anything for me. Didn't get much better with Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler, because I kept asking myself, and I did this during the prediction show, why are you having these two together take on Dolph Ziggler? There's absolutely no win here. So what do? You completely just eliminate one of the people for absolutely no reason. What's the point of making the match if Dolph Ziggler is just going to take out Kalisto before the match even begins? So stupid. You could have just had Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler and built a substantial feud between those two individuals. But no, instead, Dolph Ziggler does get a very good spot in by throwing Kalisto into the LED board, breaking it. I thought that was actually kind of cool. The match was better than I expected. It didn't do anything for me, but it was better than I expected. I am loving heel Ziggler. I'm loving Ziggler more than I have in years. Absolutely in love. He looks bigger. I don't know why. He looks bigger, more wide-chested. He looks more manly now that he's not being all fucking... Now he's being, and I kind of like it. I like it. Grab a bitch by the hair. I love it. Go ahead, Dolph Ziggler. I'm loving that. Obviously, and Kalisto doesn't stay out of the match, comes in. He's looking like he's the fucking Walking Dead coming to the match, can barely walk, and then comes in and starts flippy-dippy, carnival, goddamn Cirque du Soleil shit. And she's like, what? You sell? No sell. Sell? No sell. And it's one of the things that just drives me crazy about Kalisto. He turned into a gymnast after like barely being able to walk to the ring. I think kind of threw a monkey wrench into the whole situation, but is what it is there. Eventually, this all leads to Apollo Crews hitting that big power bomb for the victory. So you go through all the trouble of eliminating Kalisto from the match, only to have Kalisto come back into the match and be the big reason why they win. Nonsensical. Not so fast. Right up until Ziggler loses his mind and kills both people. I mean, he potentially broke Apollo Crews' ankle, which was kind of a cool touch. So I like the outside of the box type of booking. If you're going to go crazy, go super crazy. And that's exactly what they did. They decided, hey, we're just not going to do one thing weird. We're going to do all things weird, and we're just going to make this insane. And that's what they did. A thank you Ziggler chant after destroying both guys kind of lets WWE know exactly what the hardcores want. This was, for an Arizona crowd, this was surprisingly a hardcore crowd, like a hardcore wrestling fan. This was the diehards there tonight. Didn't seem like the kiddie stuff was really playing. I got to be honest, I was not expecting that. It's Arizona. It's Arizona. I was not expecting that. This is Bella hometown. I was not expecting that at all. But it was a nice little welcome surprise. Thank you Ziggler chants made me smile a little bit. I did. Tag team turmoil. By far the worst thing I saw tonight. By far the worst thing that was on this entire card. That was awful. My God. Awful, nonsensical, terrible booking, no surprises. How can you do all of those things? How can you do like one of those things I can understand? Poor execution. Okay, I can get poor execution. It happens. It's a turmoil match. They don't belong on pay-per-views because they're usually awful. I get that. Weird booking. Okay, sure, I can get that. Let's go ahead and have the Usos destroy American Alpha, thus setting up a debut of a new team, a tag team title change, and then hopefully a debut. That makes... Oh, wait, you don't? Wait a second. So you have the Usos absolutely destroy American Alpha, only for American Alpha to beat the Ascension, once again having the Ascension being the weakest tag team in the world again? You had a chance tonight to instantly reverse the fortunes of the Ascension. You had that opportunity, and you had a way to do it to where American Alpha wasn't going to look weak. You had an opportunity to really build a tag team division. When the Usos took out American Alpha the way they did, the Ascension could have came in, got the belts, and changed the course of their destiny. Even if they would have lost it to a returning tag team, at least it would have been something that had an impact. Instead, American Alpha just make the predicted recovery and then beat the Ascension in a very lackluster manner. And that was where I threw my hands up in the air that night and said, fuck you. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. It really, really bothered me. Really, really bugged me. But, you know, we got through it and it was fine. Big shout out to everybody who's in the chat joining me at this very early time or late, depending on where you are. I see Cathal Gaza up in here. That's pretty good stuff there. Thank you for joining me, Cathal Gaza. Fake Ass Twats here. So is Black Mamba. Luis Pena, he is here. So is Oyan Doyasi, BD. John Cena. That's what he says. Monsters here. So is Don Butler. Kirsty Graham, excuse me, says poor cunt. Good stuff. We got all kinds of people hanging out. Butter Demon is here. So is Levias. Sure, I don't know. All these cool people hanging out. So is the copious wife. What's up, baby? Butt Demon, yeah. That's awesome. I know, isn't it? My wife is approving of Butt Demon, but she won't let me anywhere near her ass. She got a big old butt too.
You don't want to.
What? Why not?
After that stuff coming out of there?
What, called shit? I'll still fuck it.
It's like...
That's just lubrication. Poo is just lubrication. It's disgusting lubrication, but it's I'll throw up. I don't even know why I'm talking shit. I will puke everywhere. I'll puke on your back. I wouldn't even be able to deal with it. Disgusting. Anyway, so we're having a good time, and I appreciate everybody being here, hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and continue on, because it was after that match that I had my moment where I really said, F this in the A, oddly enough, where we had Nikki Bella and Natalya, which we already talked about. Nikki busting out the Phoenix Suns colors, which was great. Other than that, that was awful. That was awful. Also, I'd like to mind wipe all of the segments between Carmella and Ellsworth. By the way, we got a donation. That's always nice. Cathal Goss donated $1 with a heart symbol. Thank you very much, Cathal. I appreciate that. We're always playing under chocolate rules, by the way. We're playing under our extreme instant regret chocolate rules. 6.4 million Scoville units. If we get to $100 at any given show, we take a bite of the instant regret chocolate. I mean, that's just how it is. So hopefully you guys want to play with that. If not, no big deal. But you can donate to the channel, as Cathal just did. I appreciate that. Do so right in the description box. You can hit the little link and donate. So also just hit the like button. Easiest way to support the channel, and subscribe. Share this around. Let people know, because we do everything here. We don't just do wrestling. We do video games, we do pop culture, we do drama, we do it all, man. We do it all, and I do it for you guys. So hopefully you will continue to enjoy that. All right. So the stupid double count out made me want to kill myself, as did all of the Ellsworth and Carmella stuff. But then the night switched. So let's talk about when the night made a drastic turn. Randy Orton, Luke Harper. What a goddamn match those two put on. Holy balls, man. What a great match. What a great match. I really enjoyed that fight. It was unexpected, and I'm glad that they went that route. I was expecting Randy to just kind of run through Luke, but they really made Luke look strong. Luke really does seem to have some momentum going forward. Unfortunately, he's just going into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, unfortunately, but still really, really cool match. Great hard-hitting action. I think it's exactly what Randy needed as a kind of a tune-up going forward in the WrestleMania. Really fun match. Hopefully this will be the end. We will not see these two again, but being WWE, it won't surprise me if they're on SmackDown this week in a return match, but we'll see. So that's where it kind of turned for me. That match almost made me stay up. I got to be honest. This close. I watched that match, and I was laying down, and I had already made the decision that I was not doing the review live right after the show. And that match almost made me change my mind. And then I fell asleep. So it started to turn around for me at that point, but it could not really overcome that first hour and a half of just God awfulness. It really was. The first half of this was so bad that it's hard to really get excited about the second half, especially because it was mainly predictable. Moving on to the match where I think this is probably the biggest controversy of the night. Naomi beating Alexa Bliss for the WWE Championship. You know what? Or for the SmackDown Championship, I should say, SmackDown Women's title. Here's the problem with it. Whether or not WWE intended to make this political or about race, they did. By having Naomi, a black woman who they have really not had too many black women's champions, win the title on Black History Month, you instantly put the emphasis and you open up the discussion that this is only because of Black History Month. And that's a disservice. Now, look, I don't like Naomi. You guys know this. I talk about it all the time. I feel that she's a one-trick pony. I don't feel that she is all that great in the ring. Tonight was a really great performance out of her, and I'm going to give her credit for that. I thought she did a really good job. Overall, there were still the same issues that I always see out of her. She doesn't connect on anything. She is the lightest striking striker that they have. Her butt doesn't connect on that goddamn rear view. Her kicks barely make an impact. There is no impact in anything that she does. Everything looks soft. Everything looks like she's floating on pillows. And it's just, I'm sorry, I have a problem with it. I just don't like her execution. Tonight was a good performance out of her. Alexa Bliss, I thought, did a good job of really making Naomi look good, better than she probably should have. I worry about Naomi going forward. I worry about Naomi being able to carry that title going forward. I think it feels like just a change for change's sake. And that's where I always have a problem with. Some people are going to, just because you've been around the WWE for a very long time, doesn't mean that you are deserving to be champion. And I don't know if Naomi has made the necessary improvements, at least in my opinion, to where she can carry a division that's already kind of slumping. But then you can go to the opposite side of that debate and say, well, because the division was already kind of slumping and losing momentum, what do you got to lose? And I think that's the way to look at it. If you want to look at it from that standpoint, I think that's the best way, because why the hell not? Doesn't really make a difference at this point. So let's go ahead and do something a little bit different and make a change. So that's what they did. The only problem with that is you've made it political, whether or not you want it. You made it political. So when you put the belt on Naomi during Black History Month, I can tell you I got a lot of private DMs from people saying, can you believe this shit? That they did it just because of Black History Month. It's an automatic dismissive argument. It's probably unfair. It's not only unfair to do to fans, it's unfair to do to Naomi. It's unfair to do to Naomi. But it is what it is. Now we're through the looking glass, and we'll see what they do going forward. I don't know if Alexa Bliss is going to continue to be in the main title picture. I think another part of the Naomi storyline is the fact that she's going into Orlando as champion. It's her hometown. So it does make sense there. But I just don't... Who does she fight? Who does she fight? Who does she fight? Do you have all the women in there? Because you have a completely unresolved situation with Nikki and Natalya. You have Alexa Bliss, who has owed a rematch. She's probably going to cash in before then. You have Becky Lynch, who just beat Mickie James, so Becky's going to be right back in the title hunt. You have Mickie James, who is a former champion, and she's a legend. You know, it's tough. It's tough. It's a very weird situation. Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, who does my music here on the show, he says, by the way, Real Talk will be joining us from here on out. He will be the official new co-host of the live reviews. So all the reviews happening from this point on, starting at Fastlane, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah will be here by my side, hanging out with me. So that's a really good thing. He said, I think she loses at WrestleMania anyway. Then why make the change? If that's the logic, why make the change? Why make the change? You had a woman in Alexa Bliss who could have continued on building something, building a legacy, and then her dropping the belt to whoever the next person is. But if the logic is just to take the belt off of Naomi at WrestleMania anyway, well, what's the point? It's just there's no build. There's no time to build. So I don't know. I don't like that decision-making at all, and I think it was a little bit. But here's the thing. Crowd loved it. Crowd, chanted out afterwards, you deserve it and all of that. That was really nice to see. The Arizona crowd was surprising to me. They booed what they were supposed to boo. They shit on what they were supposed to shit on, and they cheered what they were supposed to cheer. And I got to give them some credit for that. I gotta give them some credit for that. Don Butler, Apollo got brutalized in Black History Month. WWE racist confirmed. Well, he did win the match. He beat a honky. I mean, that's something. He did beat a honky, and then he got his ankle broke. But so did a Mexican. So equal opportunity fuckery. That's what WWE is all about. That's what the WWE does. Equal opportunity right up the pooper. So good stuff. let's go ahead and get to the main event, the thing that everybody is talking about. The one thing I didn't care about, because if you didn't know Bray Wyatt was walking out as champion, you just got things in your ears. You got blah, 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 and you just weren't paying attention. And that's completely fine. Not everybody pays attention to shit, so that's okay. No big deal there. But Bray Wyatt was a massive favorite in the betting odds to win. And, of course, that's exactly what he does. Pretty spectacular fashion. I thought the match was very, very good. But it happened in a new cage, a new structure. And that, to me, is the biggest thing to talk about. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about this new Elimination Chamber, the kinder, gentler, blockier Elimination Chamber. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it on so many levels. God, they decided to take one of the most ominous looking structures with its roundness and this really artistic look, the domicile, all these really cool pods. I know the cat's ridiculous. All this crazy stuff that they had going on, and it was big and massive and imposing. And they changed it to a Hell in a Cell structure with its blockiness and just added pods to it, and then took away one of the craziest elements was the chain, the steel mesh, which I understand is dangerous and harmful to a wrestler's back, but it's what made those matches so impactful. And they put a nice little soft padding instead. It was awful. It really, look, I get that from an aesthetic view, as far as like being able to film and record and get shots, it was probably the best move WWE could have made. We saw some cool stuff with AJ Styles getting his head slammed into the plexiglass up on top. That was cool, and the cameras can get into different areas and angles and stuff, and that was really neat. But my God, who cared? The structure is no longer ominous. The structure is no longer dangerous. It is a children's toy. It's a child's toy now. Everything is just being looked so it could be looking like a toy. You know, Fake Ass Swat says they most likely changed it so they could actually fit in the damn arenas. But the thing is, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything, because the arenas that it couldn't fit in before, it still can't fit in now. It's still that height. So if the arena still has that big scoreboard like most of them do now, you still can't fit in there. So that's not the reason for the change. They did make changes, but I don't think it was for that reason. It doesn't. The height is the problem. It wasn't the massiveness out this way. It was the height, and it's still every bit as tall. So I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with it. If the whole logic was the scoreboards that now hang in the middle of most arenas, and that problem is still there. That problem is still there. So it just makes absolutely no sense. It just no sense. It was padded. I don't know. There's nothing dangerous about the Elimination Chamber now. And that's a little bit of a disservice. It sucks. But let's talk about the match, man. Let's talk about the match, because I think the match really did do a good job. Very obvious. They start with John Cena and AJ Styles, which I think is a great service to AJ and John, given what they did at the Royal Rumble match. Fantastic. And they tear it down. They do what they do. They are on, John Cena said it best, they're on a different level. They're on a different level. Completely different level. So I love what they do. Everybody else comes in the match in different order. I don't give a shit about all of that, because I don't think that there was a whole hell of a lot there that was spectacular. I mean, we had a couple of really good spots, and other than that, I mean, it was about the finish. It was about what we knew was going to happen. I think the biggest thing that we could talk about is John Cena losing the belt in, once again, a who give a shit mattered. There was no big spot that preceded John Cena losing. It was a very dismissive, prototypical sliding off of the AA into a Sister Abigail for the win. There was no feud started. There was no Miz, John Cena, tomfuckery to get them going. There was nothing that made people remember. It's just like the same thing with him winning the belt. He lost the belt in a very type of fashion. I mean, how disappointing is that? How disappointing is that? It's like, even if you don't like John Cena, don't you want to take the belt off of him in a spectacular way? The most spectacular thing was just the fact that he was no longer in it. So you go from that way of looking at John Cena being removed as the second to last person in a very dismissive way to a person being the last eliminated into a very good and rewarding way. And that's AJ Styles. AJ Styles was a superstar coming out of this match. No question. Once again, they book AJ Styles to the moon. Make him look like the badass of all badasses. And that's great. That is great. I love that they give AJ Styles so much love and affection, and they really put him over. I think that they made him look unbelievably strong coming out of this match. He lasted the longest of anybody that was actually in the match. Nobody was in there longer than AJ Styles. He was in almost every big spot. John Cena had a lot of time to lay around and do nothing in this match. He spent a lot of time on his ass, and that was a little bit of a problem. It was pretty damn awesome to see AJ on the opposite end of that basically be involved in everything. That was pretty cool. They did set up Corbin and Dean, it looked like, which is a little bit weird because there's all the rumors about Dean. No, actually, that's not weird at all. It's exactly what they should be doing. I was thinking of The Miz. Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose, they're setting that up for the Intercontinental Championship. Smart, best thing you can do. And then The Miz kind of still walking aimlessly. They could have set something up with Cena. They didn't. So, really good stuff there. And they move on to Bray Wyatt as champion. Very exciting thing for a lot of people to see Bray Wyatt finally win a WWE championship. Jesus, it feels like this is so long overdue, but it didn't take away. People were still popping very hard for it, and Bray is still only 29 years old. So there's no reason to think that Bray cannot get the momentum and become a major champion, which this is all this is about. All of this is about making Bray that next big unstoppable guy. And it might work. They have rebuilt Randy Orton in a way that is fantastic. And now Randy Orton getting the victory at the Royal Rumble, having this 6-7 month storyline with Bray Wyatt going into WrestleMania, it's kind of important. And now Randy has a chance to really put Bray over on the granddaddy of them all. The biggest disservice I could see them doing is for some reason changing course and having Randy Orton beat Bray Wyatt. I just don't see it. I don't see that happening. It would make absolutely no sense. It is time now to push Bray to the moon. You had him beat John Cena and you had him beat AJ Styles. Pin them both on the same night. Best thing that they did all night. Predictable. It was if you didn't know it was coming, then you simply weren't paying attention. That was and you guys know, I don't have a problem with predictability as long as it's executed extremely well. And I think overall, it was. The long storyline that we've had between Bray and Randy does kind of lend in to a really good story building to WrestleMania. And hopefully that's exactly what we're going to get. Am I confident that it's going to be executed perfectly? No, but I am very happy to see that Bray Wyatt is the new WWE champion. Overall, the night was very disjointed. It was a tale of two halves. What was bad was awful. What was good was really good, but not spectacular. The best match of the night wasn't even the Elimination Chamber match. It was Randy Orton and Luke Harper. So, very interesting to see. That's my review, man. I think I give the show 5.5, maybe a 6 if I'm being generous. I think that's high. I think that's super high, man. I think that's like real talk high. Like you smoking some shit because it's high. It's high. I think it might even be less than that. I didn't like this pay-per-view. I didn't like the build. I hated the matches. Nothing made sense, and that was my problem. What was the matches? What was going to make sense? How was this going to be built in a good way? You're going to put 3 women's matches on the card and make them all mean nothing except for Naomi getting a victory that is going to be hotly contested and hotly criticized because it happened during Black History Month. It was a self-defeating pay-per-view. That is the tagline for Elimination Chamber this year. Self-defeating pay-per-view. Because even the things that were good, you go with a yeah, but. Bray Wyatt wins WWE Championship. Yeah, but it should have happened 2 years ago. Well, they set up Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt for WrestleMania. Yeah, but it's predictable because there's no way Randy's winning the belt at WrestleMania again. John Cena loses to Bray Wyatt, gets eliminated. Yeah, but John Cena does it in a way that nobody even gives a shit. You know, Naomi wins the championship. Yeah, but it happened only because it's Black History Month. You know, it's like, that's a problem where everything is a yeah, but. So, I don't know. Let's hand it over to you guys. If you have some questions, comments, concerns, quips, quotes, hopes, dreams, loves, likes, and reactions and reviews, now's your time to call in on the Skypo. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. And of course, that number, 702-751-2902. Call in now. I want to hear from y'all. Yeah. So go ahead and hit me up. If not, we're going to get up out of here. I'm going to take a nice, relaxing day, and we'll be back tonight. I'm going to do a couple of shows tonight, more than likely my 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dead on Dave Live. We'll be talking about all kinds. There's a lot of stuff going on that I want to talk about. I got a really cool video game story that I want to talk about. Hopefully I can get Mackenzie on board, and we'll be able to get that out there. There's a few other things, so we're going to keep our pussy fingers to the moon, and we're going to keep our ears to the grindstone and listen for the things that are happening. And we'll find something really good to talk about tonight. And, of course, more than likely doing Raw. More than likely doing Raw tonight. I'm not 100% sure on that either because wrestling is just boring the shit out of me right now. I'm taken out of it. It's a Las Vegas show tonight. That's going to be horrible. It's going to be an awful Raw tonight. Las Vegas shows are rarely good. Rarely good, which is so unfortunate because I'm from Vegas and in Chicago. But I mean, I lived in Vegas longer than I did in Chicago. And I love those Vegas matches. When WCW used to roll through Vegas, it's gangbusters. When WWE rolled through Vegas, it was the roulette wheel. And we still get those stupid things. All right, let's go ahead and open it up to the phone lines. 480, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got? What'd you think of Elimination Chamber?
I bet you're wondering why I'm up right now.
No, I don't care why you're up right now because it's my review. I didn't do this about you. No, I don't care. I don't give a shit. You're calling in. It isn't about you. Well, it is a little bit. What do you think about the damn Elimination Chamber?
I thought it was better live. I was there, actually.
Oh, you were there? Okay.
That match, that chamber, it wasn't very good on TV, was it?
I wouldn't say that. I just think the actual cell takes it out. It really doesn't lend itself to a good television translatable event. Like, you get some really good camera angles because of all the new plexiglass and stuff and less chain link, but it's so blocky and constrictive, and there's nothing ominous about it that it really does take away from it. By the way, babe, Birgit's here for you. So love you too. Have a good doctor's appointment. Get some drugs. So, you know, it was hard for me. How was it live? It seemed like the crowd really loved what they loved.
Oh my God, dude, live, it was insane. I was screaming on the top of my lungs. I wanted AJ to win so badly. He didn't, of course. But,
yeah. You didn't actually think he was going to win, did you?
No, I mean, they had me for a little while.
Did they really? I mean, like, seriously? Like, seriously? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be such a dick about it, but, like, come on, man. There's no way anybody could have rationally thought that was going to happen. It was Bray Wyatt or nothing else. Nothing else made sense.
I don't know, man. AJ is the best. I don't care what anybody says. He is.
I agree with you. AJ Styles is the best in the business right now. Couldn't agree with you more. But
absolutely.
But Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. That ends all discussions. It ends all debate. It ends all unpredictability.
Yeah, that Sister Abigail, when he caught him, that was cool. That was really cool.
Hey, if you're an AJ Styles fan, you got to be very happy with what they did with AJ tonight. AJ, yes, he didn't win, but AJ looked like a fucking star.
I think that was great. They had him and Bray as the final two. That was definitely the right move. Definitely. The rest of the show, I'm going to be honest, even though I was there, it wasn't that good of a show. Honestly, it really wasn't.
I don't even think the Elimination Chamber was the best match of the night. I think that goes to Luke Harper and Randy Orton. I thought that was a fantastic match.
Luke Harper's awesome. Luke Harper is awesome.
If they do not do something with Luke Harper very soon, I'm going to lose my mind because this guy is so fucking talented. I know he looks like a chud, and that's probably why I'll never get over. But geez, well, I mean, get over in WWE terms. He's over with the crowd because he's an amazing talent. They got to do something with this guy. He's so good. He's so good. He's so big, and he's so believable. Get him out of the goddamn pit-stained shirt, and let's do something with this guy because he's amazing.
Yeah, that was. I mean, kind of a yeah. I'd say it was a 2-match show. Everything else was pretty much garbage.
Yeah,
I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, it was just very underwhelming. There's really nothing more to say.
Agreed. What's your rating?
Yeah. Live, I'll give it a 7 live, but I'm guessing on the network it was about a 5 maybe.
I was there. I fell asleep 4 times in the first hour. That's why I didn't do the review right after, because I fell asleep 4 times in the first hour. I just could not care. I tried really hard to care, but I was really taken out of it. All right, 480, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it, buddy. You have yourself a good night and get some rest. You sound exhausted. I do care about your health. I was just kidding. Get some sleep.
All right, I will, man. Take care.
Take it easy, buddy. All right, let's bring in Nick the Grip. Let's hear what he has to say. Is he going to troll me tonight, or is he going to give an honest opinion? Let's find out. Nick the Grip, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's up, man? Well, I have to say, I mainly called for one match, but I liked the setups that they did in the chamber, and I just joined you, so excuse me if I didn't hear a lot of what. I just seen that it was on. I'm like, wait a minute, oh shit! All right.
Yeah,
anyway,
I decided screw it. I'm up, so let's go ahead and knock it out now. I didn't want to record one and then put it up. I was like, screw it, let's just go ahead and go live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. That's what we did.
So, was there any discussion on the new chamber?
Yeah, I talked about it. How much I fucking hate it.
I actually like it.
Okay, why? Because it's blocky and boring. It's so restrictive. Oh my God, it's a hell in a cell with a floor in the space where they could actually work, and the floor is a pad. The floor is a pad.
Oh, don't tell me you're on that too, man.
If you're going to have an elimination chamber, which is built about, the match is built around brutality. It was supposed to be a step up from a Hell in a Cell match. This is a step down. I understand
you got the brutality, but Baron beat the hell out of Dean. Come on now, it was pretty.
They could have done that in any goddamn cell. They could have done that in any cage. The whole point of Elimination Chamber was it was supposed to look unique. It was supposed to be their version of War Games because they had a unique look. It was rounded and sexy. This was blocky and boring and safer. It's a fucking toy. It's a toy. And that's the problem with WWE most of the time. It's a toy. And this was a toy.
Well, I mean, what do you think they're trying to sell?
I get that, but Jesus Christ, that's what you bitch about most of the time. You fucking smart-ass bitches. That's what you guys complain about most of the time. Is everything
I'm not
bullshit.
smart.
I will go back and I will find you shitting on WWE for just being fucking bullshit.
Anyway.
Bullshit. Yeah, Mr. Gore, go fuck yourself. What else you got?
Well, wait. Actually, I'm calling to voice my disdain for the tag team turmoil match.
Oh, awful, right?
I mean, I did get the Gore in there, and don't get me wrong, and both of them were pretty damn good, and I loved every second of it. But how do you eliminate the 2 shitty teams in the beginning and then leave the Rise of the Ascension just to get squashed by 2 guys who just got beat up?
It makes no sense. I don't even care that the Ascension lost last. I don't even care about that. What I care about is the Usos beat down American Alpha in a brutal way. They beat them to shit. That wasn't just a small beatdown. That was a massive beatdown. And then Ascension loses anyway. It's like they are the weakest tag team in the history of WWE, the Ascension.
And then they brought out, the thing that pisses me off is they brought out the new mask and the face paint and everything was so brutal. And
Yep, just a fart.
Breezango lasted longer.
Yeah. You know, and the funny thing is, I felt they had an opportunity to not only kind of revitalize the Ascension in some way, but it was such an easy booking to me, and I put it out on Twitter, and a lot of people seemed to get behind it, and then I was like, oh, wait, never mind, because this is what I thought was going to happen. American Alpha gets beaten down by the Usos, so now you've got the Usos and American Alpha meaning something again, which is great. Ascension comes out, gets a quick victory, looks like they're going to walk out with the championship, and then DIY debuts. Bang.
I don't know about DIY, but definitely the Revival.
Revival's back in a fucking feud in NXT. Revival, keep them down there. That's completely fine. DIY needs to come up now, and the reason why I think that made more sense was because, again, heel versus face. You know, WWE loves the heel face. So that's what I was going to. I thought that would have been great. The Ascension, an NXT tag team coming in, making a debut, taking it off the team that was the most dominant tag team in NXT history that finally wins the belt, only to get taken away by DIY. I thought it would have been instant entertainment, and instead they farted.
I don't understand why they've been shitting on the Ascension since they came up. I mean, yeah, it's not the original guy, but still, what the hell?
I don't know.
Because Victor's not the original guy.
What?
Victor's not the original guy.
What are you talking about?
Wasn't it Connor and I think it was Bram.
Maybe that was like for a week, but the team that held the belts in NXT was Victor and Connor.
Well, that was. I didn't watch a lot of NXT back then.
Obviously.
I just always knew it was Bram, and then Bram got in trouble with the law, and then went to TNA, and then the rest is history.
I don't even remember that iteration. I got to be honest. I don't even remember that iteration. I don't. I don't think I was watching NXT at that point, because that was the early days. I remember Connor.
Yeah, that was when they were exclusively on the WWE website on like Thursday night or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, crazy. All right, what else you got?
Well, the Chamber itself, I mean, it set up a lot of good feuds. It set up a lot of things to actually look into, especially Baron Corbin.
It didn't set up anything. And I'm hearing this is exactly what they didn't set up anything, because this is all that was. It's logic. You knew that Baron Corbin was not winning this thing, and if he wasn't winning it, where was he going? Intercontinental Championship with Dean Ambrose, which may not even make the WrestleMania card. They've got a 10-match card already set up for WrestleMania, and there's like 2 SmackDown matches that are going to make the card. It's unbelievable.
They're probably going to do the big 4-hour thing with a 2-hour pre-show again, and we're going to be sitting here for 6-7 hours watching the damn thing.
They're going to do to Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin what they did to Kalisto and Ryback for the United States Championship.
You're probably right there.
That's awful. Awful.
Let me see if I could pick your brain for a second.
Yeah.
So it was a fantastic moment for me, but I was surprised with the audience's review of it. So the good guy wins in Apollo Crews, and then Ziggler beats the hell out of him, and the fans stank Ziggler.
Yes. Because you know why the fans stank Ziggler? Because I'll tell you exactly why. Because Ziggler is doing the most entertaining thing that he has done in his career right now.
True
He is
shit.
the best heel that he has ever been in his career. He does not give any fucks. He looks bigger to me. He looks massive now. He looks great.
He does.
And what do? They stick him in there with 2 guys that nobody really cares too much about, to be completely honest, and in a handicap match, only to take away the handicap portion by having fucking Dolph take out Kalisto in a really cool spot to start the match. Then to have Kalisto hobble down the ring. Took him 7 minutes to walk down the ring like he was fucking dying, only as soon as he gets in the ring to go Cirque du Soleil. Instant no-sell. Pissed everybody off.
Well, you know what? But he's not the only one that did that. American Alpha, as soon as they won the match, were just, we're fine. Nothing ever happened.
I get that. No selling is a big problem right now throughout WWE. There's no question. Throughout wrestling,
without the NXT guys.
It's not just NXT. It's everybody. It's everybody in wrestling. You see it in independents. Nobody sells. Nobody sells. And when they do sell, you see Okada and fucking Kenny Omega, where they sell for literally 25 minutes of a match. They sell for 25 minutes of a 40-minute match. They just laid there. Go back and watch it again. Every time I watch that match, I don't want to. Every time I rewatch that match, I hate it more and more. Every time
I've always
I
hated
watch
that
match, I hate it more and more.
I hate that match. I hate that Ricochet and Ospreay match. I don't think that's real wrestling to me.
Ricochet and Ospreay, I didn't mind as much because at least they weren't just resting the whole time. They were no selling. Boing, 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 finisher, boing, 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 boing. It was so entertaining. My God. I really did enjoy that. I got to be honest.
But if you want to watch that, why don't you just go to the circus and watch them fly around up there? It's the same thing. I didn't understand.
There's no violence in a circus. Nobody gives a pile driver to a clown. I mean, I think that's the main reason. Look, I don't think that there's necessarily one particular way to do wrestling. I think there's a lot of ways to do wrestling wrong, but there's no way to do it perfectly. I think there's ass for every seat. And there's a lot of different ways to entertain.
Really, there's always deletion. So there are some ways of doing wrestling wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. But overall, it was an interesting night for me. I did a great interview tonight with Brian Hebner. I don't know if you saw that. I was very, very happy with that interview.
I have to go back and watch it. I didn't get to.
Which I didn't even think was going to happen. It was kind of crazy to put together because of some old men involved. The old man being Andre Corbeil. Oh, my God. No, I love Andre, and he did a really good job of getting this together, and I'm glad that we were able to make it happen. Brian Hebner was so insightful. God, man, Did he grill you on your TNA rant? No, he didn't. And I actually made reference to it at the end because I was fair with him. I was fair with him because I think I was a little bit harsh with TNA because there are changes coming to TNA because I didn't take into account that was the new tapings are happening under the new ownership, the new management, the new creative. However, Jeff Jarrett doesn't get me excited for shit because Jeff Jarrett's going to make himself champion within the end of the year. We all know what's happening.
But Jarrett is not allowed on TV.
I don't think that's true anymore.
Per his last negotiation, he's not allowed on TV because of the gold rush bullshit that he's doing. He's got contracts and all that.
Man. That don't matter. You know that shit don't matter. Jeff Jarrett's running the damn show. They will find a way. They'll do some kind of on a pole match or some return. But
you know what? In the beginning of TNA, Jeff Jarrett as champion was good.
That was fucking 10 years ago. It was good is a stretch. Good is a stretch. The worst part of fucking TNA, even at its best, was the Jeff Jarrett stuff. They were carried by the X Division, carried by it, and they need to get back to it. Hopefully they will. But still, that's a different topic for another day. Hopefully you guys will go check out. Hopefully you'll go check out that Brian Hebner interview. He was so candid.
Right.
It was almost a shoot. He almost did a full shoot interview with me, man. It was awesome. It was
Very
awesome,
cool.
man. Yeah, it was really cool.
I guess we should go back to the pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, sure. Real quick. I'm about to dump your ass anyway. Great call tonight, by the way, which is rare.
I had 2 match of the nights, and this one you'll probably disagree with me, but of course, Randy Orton and Luke Harper will be number one. They were. That was fantastic. I don't understand why WWE is sitting on their hands with this Bruiser Brody who can actually work. I don't get it. But they need to do something with this soon.
Agreed.
The other one, I liked the pace of it, was the Mickie James match.
I knew you were going to say that. And as far as, the funny thing is, as far as pacing, I actually agree with you. The pacing of that match was perfect. Unfortunately, it was the execution that was the issue. The ending was awful. Mickie James and Becky Lynch, the last thing you want to see on a pay-per-view is a roll-up victory. And that's what we got.
True shit. But it also keeps Mickie from looking weak moving forward.
Yeah, I guess. But where does she go? The problem is there's no... This was another problem for tonight. This is the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, right? If they're going to make some changes and change course and start getting some real feuds that matter, well, then let's do that. Unfortunately, it was a half-in, half-out night. There's no reason to take the belt off of Alexa if it's just going to continue on going into WrestleMania. Why devalue Alexa and really the belt for a championship that really doesn't matter?
I saw that coming.
Yeah, well, so did the betting odds. That made a huge change right before.
Made Naomi for one, I think they were cheap enough to go after it because of Black History Month.
Which, even if it's not true, it's still a problem. Because the WWE is so short-sighted. And this is the problem with social justice bullshit, by the way. It's so short-sighted that they don't even see that by doing it, and not 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks earlier, that they automatically make a disservice towards Naomi. Whether or not that was the actual case is irrelevant because they did it during this time That's the first discussion everyone's going to have. That's a disservice to that title. That's a disservice to Naomi. And it's a disservice to wrestling. And it shouldn't happen.
Well, hey, at least we got Maurice getting powder in her face to set up John Cena's angle.
That makes me want to kill myself. That's really how we're going to set up John Cena is accidental powdering. Accidental powdering? Not a bukkake, but a fucking powdering? Unbelievable.
This and then I know you're going to want to dump me, and you could do it right now, but if you let me finish my thought, I'd be pretty grateful.
What thought? I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
So I've had a thought about how they're going to set this whole thing up. Daniel Bryan can't work.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Brother-in-law can work.
Did you watch my
John
show?
Cena.
Did you watch my show earlier this week where that's exactly what I said?
Probably not, but. So then all we have to understand is what the hell is Shane to have anything to do with AJ for, and I hope that never happens. But yeah,
here's the thing on that. Here's the thing on that. That's a big, big deal for AJ to be able to work with Shane. Yeah, I'm sure it's something AJ wants to do. I know that's not going to be, if AJ's not going to be in a title match, which he's clearly not, then why the hell not make this happen? Not everybody gets to wrestle with the McMahon. And you're going from The Undertaker last year to AJ Styles. That's a fucking feather in AJ Styles' cap, man. I'm sorry.
True. Especially if the rumors are true that Roman is being demoted and AJ is being promoted.
Yes, I definitely see the big move that will happen in the draft.
So
I'm predicting the night after WrestleMania, they will do a draft. It will not even. It probably won't even be promoted. It'll just kind of happen, or a big trade. It will be Roman Reigns for AJ Styles. I'm 100% sure of it.
Well, I'm hearing a lot of things saying that there's actually going to be a real draft in March. Whether there's, May. Whether there's any truth in that.
I've heard that rumor too.
So, but no, all in all, I thought tonight, I really want to give it a 6 out of 10. Just because, I mean, there were some good spots. But then you go into the fucking blah that we saw. 2 women's matches that didn't really matter. One that could have been better in the end. And then, oh, God.
It's a Natalia
and
night.
Nikki Bella.
I don't know if you heard that out of me earlier, but it's a but night. Even the things that were great, there's going to be a massive but. It's like Bray Wyatt won, but it should have happened 3 years ago. Naomi won,
Bray Wyatt winning,
but it was because of Black History Month. John Cena got eliminated, but in a really unspectacular way. American Alpha retained, but in the stupidest fucking possible. You know what I mean? It's just that was the whole goddamn night.
I mean, but at least Eric Rowan didn't show up.
Which I was expecting, and I was so glad it didn't
So was
happen.
I.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
I was expecting. And when it didn't happen in Randy's match, I'm like, oh, God, he's going to come up from the fucking chamber. But anyway, crazy. All right, man.
Great call, Nick. I think maybe the best call you ever did. I hate you so much, and it actually bothers me when you make a good call. So, but good call. I got to give credit where credit's due.
Can I ruin it?
I'm assuming you're going to anyway.
How about Rhino's mutton chops, huh? Didn't they look spectacular?
Yes,
door.
Right, absolutely. Get out of here. I'm glad you like Meatloaf wrestling in WWE. Have a good night. Holy shit. Good call out of Nick. I got to give him credit. It was a crazy night all in all. I guess there's some stuff that you can really enjoy, but most of it was very lackluster, I felt. I fell asleep 4 times in the first hour. That's a big problem to me. So it is what it is. Good stuff. I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show, this show at the very least. Drop a like on it if you have yet to do so. And good stuff. Good stuff. I want to hear your reaction to Elimination Chamber. Go ahead, hit me up on Skype. David Vancura, DAVID. Dead on Dave. No. On Skype. No. Shit. On Twitter, at Dead on Dave V. All right. Go ahead and hit me up. Tell me what you think. That's all I got. I think we're going to get up out of here. Hope you enjoyed this review of Elimination Chamber. We're going to see what's going on the rest of the night. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow as far as am I going to do Raw, am I not going to do Raw. Wrestling is boring the balls off of me at the moment, so it's kind of hard to get motivated, but there will be shows. That's the one thing I could promise you. There will be a show tonight, and it will be live, and it will be copious, and it'll be fantastic, and there'll be hats, and there'll be drinks, and there'll be all kinds of crazy things. So make sure you're here for that. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. Go watch that Brian Hebner interview. I had an absolute blast with it. From here on out, every pay-per-view that you're going to see, I will have a new co-host with me, and it will be Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. He'll be here live with me, so great stuff. Dom Butler says, yo, Dave, yo to you, and yo, Joe to all of those, because if you didn't know, now you know, and knowing's half the battle. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious, and remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Peace, bitches.